What episode number is this anyway?
18.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Believe it or not. We're almost at 20.
Is it actually 18? Like legitimate 18? I don't know. Have we recorded 18? Are you lumping in the Westworld in there?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking so because that would have been 10.
Yeah, that's 10. But
it's 10 by itself.
Yeah.
Well, crap, and those were an hour and 20 minutes, so yeah. I'd count those.
Oh, okay.
But, let's see, 10 of those. I don't know if we wax strong about all the other stuff. I don't think we're counting the B-side stuff.
No. I'm talking ones that have actually been assembled on the drive, numbered, and uploaded.
Yeah.
Somewhere where you're not
supposed
supposed
to. That last Korea one was 17?
Yeah, it was 16 or 17 for sure.
Yeah. And see, we also counted the floor interview, or not floor interviews, but the video crap. What's it called?
I don't know, video? I don't remember what we did, and it's only been, people have this problem usually around episode 350 in their web series, but I don't remember on episode 18 what I did for 14.
Well, now, hang on a second. Was that the private video that I did and didn't tell you about? No, I didn't post that one.
Oh, private dancer?
Yeah. When I get bored in my room, take my no pants nap.
Gross.
How did you not know about no pants nap?
I don't know.
That's like a legitimate thing on all teams.
Is it?
Like.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not, because I'm on a team, and I've never once heard
No pants nap?
no pants nap.
That just means you're going back to your room and getting comfortable.
Oh, okay.
And you're probably going to pass out.
See, to me, when you said no pants nap, like I assume, like you get up in the morning and you put on your khakis and your dress shoes and your nice socks and your button-down shirt, and then you go into work and then you come back to the hotel room and you take off the dress shoes and the khakis and just go take a nap in your button-down shirt.
You are absolutely correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's what happens. But see, I took it a step further and I just do the naked nap.
Oh, well, it's just like Tom Cruise in Risky Business, or not Risky Business, but when he comes sliding in the socks, but like the button-down shirt. Yeah, that's how I pictured a no pants nap.
That is extremely close to real life.
Okay. So what are you talking about this one?
Oh, geez, I don't know. This is definitely going to be a whatever the hell we want type of thing. I mean, there haven't been any good movies. We could very easily talk about how this year has sucked thus far for movies.
No, man, Thor's good. We talked about Thor.
Yeah, but that was last year.
Well, I mean, you're talking like
October?
calendar. Yeah, well.
August?
No.
I don't know. It was forever ago.
It's got to be
September?
October.
Was it September?
No, it wasn't September, because remember how cold it was in Korea?
Yeah, see, we were in Korea when we saw it. So it was October, you're right. But, there hasn't been anything since then.
No, there hasn't.
Talk while I'm eating. What am I doing?
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. You're not supposed to eat on a podcast. I mean, I'm over here drinking a little bit,
but my bad.
I'm not drinking into the mic.
No. Not like some of the people we game with.
Yep.
Good God, you guys really old.
It's like they put, a giant bag of glass in a blender.
Oh, yeah. I know. We could talk about coming soon stuff. What we're looking forward to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it could get predictive on it. I mean, I'm kind of excited if we're talking about movies, Black Panther and Captain Marvel.
Really?
Yeah.
Black Panther?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, no. All the early reviews, like I was kind of, prior going, I'm not that into the character. I've never really been that into the character. But I like what they've done in the movies so far with him, so that was kind of interesting. But then after watching one of the trailers and then reading some of the earlier stuff on it, some of the early, I guess, reviews of it, the earlier screenings, the reviewers talking about it, I'm much more interested in seeing it now than I was.
See, I thought it was cool when they casted Michonne because I was like, oh, she's going to be one of the bodyguards.
Hmm.
Typecasted. Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why. Maybe I'm kind of reaching the point of oversaturation on superhero movies.
Oh.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, these standalones of, for lack of a better term, B-rated heroes, the B-list heroes.
Oh, uh-huh.
I mean, Black Panther's never been an A-list hero.
No, it wasn't utilized, but I mean that's a lot of what Marvel's doing too. Now they're trying. Everybody has the overexposure. Like everybody's sick of Logan. Everybody's sick of the X-Men. Everybody's sick. That's why they switched over. I mean, part of it was movie rights, but they switched over to Inhumans. You know, in the comic books, and started mining out these these older properties, these older IPs they had, to try and bring new stuff to the table without having to.
Well, and they also had a huge success with Guardians of the Galaxy, which a lot of people didn't foresee.
No.
Because, let's face it, they've always been B-list as well.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been at the forefront of anything.
No, and that's why everybody really liked, Star-Lord going on Star-Lord. He's like, ooh.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, man.
That was legit.
But
yeah, I don't know if I'm burned out or not. I'm just kind of like, Black Panther, yeah. I mean, I appreciate it because I understand the gravitas surrounding it of, first African American director to work on a Marvel film, first African American lead in a Marvel film, so on and so forth. But it's all Marvel film. I'm just like, is it really that groundbreaking? Not really.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not excited for it. Will I see it? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not super stoked like I was for Thor.
Oh.
I mean, I was excited to see Hulk again, so maybe that's what the sell was on me there. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we've covered that one. I mean, the whole draw on that one for me was the kind of 80s throwback to it a little bit, and the heavy metal soundtrack style they did to it. Not
heavy metal soundtrack, rock.
Yeah, like the 70s, early 80s rock stuff, and Taika Waititi is the director. So
that was brilliant.
So,
yeah. So the stuff I'm looking forward to has nothing to do with Marvel. Like, bring on March, I want to see Ready Player One.
Do you?
Have you read it?
No, I haven't, because that was one of those things, Ready Player One, where once I heard about it coming out as a movie, and I actually started reading a bit on it, like the book. I went, oh, neat. This is, this plays right into my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse. Yeah, I was like, this is, because it is literally everything that I grew up on.
Yes.
Video games, action figures, all that stuff, movies, everything.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm going to get at least 90% of all the references that they throw into this thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, even in the first trailer, it's just like Easter egg haven.
Yeah, well, see, I watched the trailer for it and was like, sweet, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody on Twitter, there was like a conversation, and somebody had posted, they just had like little quotes and posted a couple paragraphs, I guess, out of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And as I read it, I was like, this is like drivel. I was like, this is not very good.
What?
And it was just, I don't know if you've read it. Have you read it?
I haven't.
Okay. You haven't read it? Yeah, it was just like,
I'll have to tell you my backstory.
It was like just, it seemed more like it just relied on the nostalgia aspect in the, like, making references than actually having a plot or like maybe moderately good writing. I don't know. They might, I'm sure, but on the internet, people cherry pick out like the worst. They might have picked the two worst paragraphs out of the whole book.
I hope so.
But somebody went, "Oh my God, is the whole book like that?" And they were like, "Yes, the entire book is literally just like this." And I went, "Oh wow!" And so I just kind of drifted away from the book and was like, "Oh, maybe I'll check out the movie first."
I can't imagine the movie being better than the book.
No, but
because that doesn't exist.
But if the book or if the movie's at least entertaining and has enough to it,
Yeah.
then I'll be like, oh, okay. But if the movie's just where they parade, golden filtered nostalgia, intellectual properties at me. Here comes the DeLorean. Here comes characters out of.
See, yeah, out of all kinds of properties. I'm kind of hoping that what happened.
Speaking into the mic here, hold on.
I'm kind of hoping that what happened with Walking Dead is what's going to happen with Ready Player One. For my backstory, because what happened with me is I was given the graphic novel of Walking Dead like years and years and years before they ever made it into a TV show. And my buddy told me, hey, yeah, I think you'd really enjoy this. And I'm like, no, I probably really wouldn't. Because me and undead properties and monsters and, just anything to do with vampires or stuff like that, I'm like, no. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not into it. I get it. I understand stuff about it, but it doesn't entertain me. It doesn't interest me. Well, he was like, well, this has nothing to do with the undead. And I was like, okay. He was like, well, here, I'll just give you these, like, I don't know, at the time it was 80 or 70 or 80 issues. Mm-hmm. And he's like, just read them when you get the time. And I was like,
He cracked it. He cracked his Walking Dead #1 out of the slab and was like, here, read this.
Exactly. No, he gave them all to me, and I got really bored once and was going through my comics, and I decided instead of, starting from the beginning, I'd start from the end. So I read Why the Last Minute. Mm-hmm. Freaking phenomenal. Excellent writing.
Yeah, that's
I mean, you can't beat the story in that.
Nope.
With anything. Nope. I know they wanted to try to serialize it, turn it into a TV show or something like that, but I think that still hasn't come to fruition. It's just all talk. Yeah. But yeah, so with The Walking Dead, I finally, after it was being brought to the screen by AMC, I got through Why the Last Man, and the next thing on the list was Walking Dead. So I read the first one, and I was like, oh, holy crap. It really doesn't have anything to do with the undead. It focuses on people in a stressful situation and how far they're willing to go to survive and so on and so forth. The human condition type bullcrap. Well, you know me, I'm big into anime, right? Mm-hmm. I like watching it, and I enjoy the stories that are told from a Japanese perspective that involves lots of huge explosions. Hiroshima's written all over everything that they do. And I forgot to silence my phone. And they...
Don't worry, well, I'll edit that out.
Post. I wouldn't even bother. They had an anime called Sword Art Online, where, the main character in that gets trapped in a video game.
Mm-hmm. I'm aware of that.
But yeah, it's like, VR, go in and you're in this world and stuff like that. And somebody I worked with at the time asked me what Sword Art was all about, and I explained it to him, and he's like, oh my gosh, you've got to read this novel. And I'm like, well, what's the name of it? He's like, Ready Player One. It's freaking amazing. And I was like, oh, okay. Why would I find it freaking amazing, or why do you like it so much? And he's like, it's almost exactly like what you're describing. Log Horizon is this new thing that takes place in a video game world. And he's like, you totally have to read it. If you like that, then you have to read this. Like, got super excited about it. Handed me the book, and I've had the book for, I don't know, 5 years.
Uh-huh.
I haven't read it. And it's not even that big of a read either.
No.
It's not a huge book.
Poor fella, he kept his book for 5 years.
It's a digital copy.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. It's actually sitting on the computer that we're recording on right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But, no, I'm like, dang, man. I keep, and then, I kind of keep it on the radar, so to speak, and I know about it, I know what it's about, but I've never read it. It's just sitting there waiting to be a gem discovered is how I feel about it, because that's what happened with Walking Dead. Like, I started reading that graphic novel, and holy crap, I couldn't put it down. I got like 30 issues in, and I'm like, no, I can't get enough. And I think I burned through all of the issues he gave me in like 3-4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And by that point, you know, they were already past issue 100. And I forget, but we were on a trip somewhere when I read issue 100. And people were sitting around me, and it was, of course, issue 100 was the big to-do with season 5 where Negan shows up with his bat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! I read that in the workplace, and I was like, oh my gosh! And everybody sitting around me was like, what? And I'm like, I just saw something I can't unsee. I'm like, it was a 2-page, and I stopped myself from using the word splash because it was that graphic.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't. I had to put it down.
Mm-hmm. There's an eyeball hanging out.
Oh, so brutal, so visceral.
Yeah.
And yeah, kudos to AMC for going out on that limb. They did a fine job.
Well,
I didn't think they'd be that ballsy, but they pulled it off.
Oh, yeah.
That was,
whew. Well, they got Preacher going now. I mean, they're...
And see, I've never seen that one. That's the one with the butthole face guy?
Yep. Oh. Yep, Arse face.
Does he whistle a lot? I don't...
No.
What's the point of him?
He doesn't whistle.
He looks like he's puckered and ready. I'm just saying.
Well, you know, the comic book, the show is a little bit different. Like, you know, of course, you know, they got to keep it functional. The comic book, it was just Steve Dillon drawing, you know, the craziest looking, you know, dude he could. So yeah, he just had,
Oh wow,
you know, a face like an arse.
Oh wow, okay.
But yeah, the show's good. The characters feel pretty much about the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty happy with it. And they've just gone completely different from the story, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, well, not completely different, but they deviated a large amount from the comic, which is good because I've already read that story. That story's been told.
Oh.
You know,
okay.
type deal.
Yeah.
You know, they take the whole, like the main bit of it, you know,
the concept.
You know, like Jesse deciding, well, I got to go hold God's feet to the fire for the shitty state of the world. But pretty much everything between A and Z is kind of gone all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, and that's the funny thing about movies, graphic novels, anything like that to screen, whether big or small screen.
Yeah.
Like, the true fans, they just want to see what they read.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of writers get their hands on the material and see a lot more character development, possibly, or, I mean, comic books, come on, man. Dealing with characters that have been around for, at this point, 80 years.
Yeah. Superman, Batman, all those.
Yeah, it's like, where do you go from there? I think we've discussed that before. And I don't see a problem with taking a property and trying to tell a different story than what is in the book.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it.
And so many people get stuck on, oh, it's got to be page for page, line for line. No.
Yeah.
You can have the best line, sure, but no, man, just tell the story. Artistically, let the actors and director, you know, do something.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be the same story, just a good story.
Yeah. And see, like, people are freaking out. I've read online that people are freaking out about the early pictures of Miss Marvel.
Yeah, why?
Because her costume isn't what it is, and it's like, dude, that could just be what she was wearing when she started out as a rookie, and she hasn't graduated to.
Well, but what a lot of people, not a lot of people, but what I just ran into this the other day, so I know what you're talking about. But you know, immediately people were like, yes, but the costume is different. But these are like the first pictures coming from set like this, which means they're early on in the shoot. And they said, actually, what happens is that this color scheme and the way that the costume is sort of like it's what could have been potentially like her first costume right after she inherited the mantle, like where it came from and the person, you know, who, you know, based on the backstory.
Yeah.
It's you know, appropriate, I guess. You know,
Yeah,
like
see,
you know,
I'm
it
not.
might be like the first time she goes out, she's like, here's this suit,
Exactly.
she's got to go out. And then, you know, by the end of the movie, here's version 2.0 at the end of the movie.
Yeah, it's like Iron Man's suit.
Yeah.
Which was very faithful to the comic book, actually.
Yeah.
The very first Mach 1, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
But freaking, then you put, I don't know, I saw all the elements there. It had like the Nova Corps symbol on it and all that jazz or whatever. A little star looking thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, all the elements are there. People are just worried about the colors.
Yeah, they're just really worried about the colors. Well, I don't get all that.
No reason to. But yeah, so I don't know. And other movies that I'm looking forward to, I don't think have anything to do with superheroes or the like. I am very concerned at how they're scraping the bottom of the barrel for original ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the question mark in my voice there. Like Rampage.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's an original movie property, but I mean, it's like anything else. Like we can make a video for a movie out of Contra.
Right. Well, that would probably be exciting. We had, yeah. I don't know. Just so many failed video game movies out there. Doom, Mario Brothers. I went straight to Mario Brothers.
Yeah, come on, man. What are you picking on Mario Brothers for? That's a classic there.
Oh no.
I don't know about Doom, man. You know what? I never watched Doom.
No. That had the Rock in it, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I steered so clear of that one. Nope, I didn't want anything to do with it, really. I guess. I don't know. I forgot it even existed until just now.
I never watched Silent Hill.
I did watch Silent Hill.
For some reason, I did watch Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Crap, we did a podcast on Resident Evil.
Yeah, there was an episode, 8 bits or something, I think we did.
Yep. So
Resident Evil stuff.
Yeah, I mean, video game movies as a whole, I'm like, when are they going to get back into board games? I mean, Battleship was
you want a movie? I want a movie off of Monopoly.
No, they already did Wolf of Wall Street. That's
Sorry.
Monopoly.
Sorry.
They could probably pull off Sorry. I would like to see Operation.
Operation?
Yes.
Oh.
It'd be like a Saw version of Operation because, you know,
Oh.
you'd have to have the guy open
like
to be able to pull
American
the bone
Psycho / Dexter.
I mean, to get to his heart, you'd have to have an open chest cavity. Yeah, I think Operation would score big with the kids.
Yeah. These days.
I don't know. Hungry Hippos. I could see that.
Yeah.
Animated.
Yeah,
They would probably animate it. Because where are you going to find a green hippo? Or an orange hippo?
Yeah, filters.
Yeah, but how are you going to explain that they exist? And that they're hungry?
Why do you have to?
What are they
Why
going
do
to
you need?
I don't know.
See,
I wouldn't even want to write that one.
But yeah, but I'm the same way. Every time, like, we'll go to like I go to Comic Cons, and I'll go down. One of my favorite things is to go down to the Artist Alley.
Yeah.
Go down to the Artist Alley and go find like some of the stuff I'm reading, like webcomic guys and that sort of stuff, and then I'll start pointing out junk, like, you know, about the strips. Like, hey man, there's this guy here, and like, what does he do? How did he get up here? Like this thing, like he's up here on top of this building, but like there's no stairs on the outside, and it doesn't, like there's no elevator thing at the top, and you know, like it's an abandoned building. What? All the you showed all the stairs are broken. They're like, wait a minute, I just drew him up there. Like I didn't even think about any of this stuff. Like you're putting way too much thought into this. So I was like, well, yeah, but like maybe he had a giant, you know, eagle climb up there like Gandalf did, or you know, they're like, holy cow, like you're thinking about this way too much. So I like going down there and just start expanding on things, you know, just while you're standing there right in front of them, like, they're going, Jesus Christ, man, like you put way too much into this. I was talking to Chris Grind, you know, maybe I'll talk him into, or you know, I've asked him. He said he'd come on, but I've got to get it, I guess, rounded up. But you know, one of my favorite things to do was go down there to his booth and be like, hey man, you got this comic. He's got the comic Wicked Crispy,
right?
And my two favorite characters out of that are Taco Frog and Macabre. And Macabre looks like a giant cob of corn and they're real shitty detectives.
Right.
And actually, Macabre is a super shitty detective. And Taco Frog is just along for the ride, but Taco Frog has a taco head. Like, his head is divided in, and there's lettuce and cheese and sour cream and stuff on top of his head.
Yep.
You know, and so I was like, hey, man, is this stuff, like, is the cheese his hair? Like, does he have to go and get the cheese cut every now and then? Like, the sour cream is something he puts on every day, like product? Or does he wash it off at the end of the day? He's like, you're thinking way too much about this, man. I just dream like as having a taco head. I don't. It's like I never thought about whether or not the lettuce is part of his body, and I'm like, no. Like, if it grows, then he's got to wash this stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It was like, man, you put way too much thought into this. So it's like,
like
yeah, but it's fun.
Solve crimes.
Yeah, it's like, no, but it's fun. It's so much fun.
Man.
Adding that stuff in yourself.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, just fleshing it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've said far too many times that I can't help it, but you know, even like when we're driving around in GTA 5 online and I start, like clip a pedestrian in my brain, I'm like, oh, that dude had a double foam latte, like that went flying, you know, like if he had a drink, and I'm like, that was like a $9 drink that just went flying off in the air. I was thinking he's probably talking on his phone to his agent, you know, like he just scored a big gig, you know, like an acting gig, but now he's going to be in crutches. And, like, that's all my fault.
Yep. Man, I'd hate to be an insurance adjuster in Los Santos. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. Well, the DPW alone must be like half the city's probably DPW. We're replanting all those light posts and smash and knock over.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Just wrecking all of the fire hydrants.
Yeah. What was it? Oh shoot,
within probably 10 minutes of you logging into GTA 5, there's the entire east coast of Los Santos has little to no water pressure for all the fire hydrants I've torn free.
Too true. Yes, I've done the same. I'm just thinking about, the millions of dollars. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
They got like a 60% income tax rate in Los Santos. They're like, hey, the insane people will not stop blowing shit up, folks. Somebody's got to pay for this.
Money's easy to come by.
Yeah, it is. I got a couple million in the bank there.
True.
Although I never bought a shark card.
Nope.
Won't do it.
Won't do it. I wonder if that's what Red Dead 2 is going to rely upon.
Man, and I'm scared about that.
It got pushed. Did you hear that?
Yeah. October.
They pushed Anthem as well.
Yeah, Anthem's going to next year.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's kind of like, are they jockeying to not compete against each other and still put out the best possible product?
I don't think they're in direct competition.
Well, if they release the same week, that would be a big hit to many people's wallets.
Well, I wouldn't get both in the same way. And I can tell you right now, Anthem is not going to be purchased if they came out the same week. It's Red Dead 2 is going to win.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Red Dead 2 would win if it has a single-player campaign mode that is at least close to the same level as the first one. I won't pin expectations that I had from the first one, because the first one is still, plot-wise, maybe one of my favorite games.
It is one of the better. Yes.
Ever.
I agree.
And especially if you played it right.
Oh, yeah.
That you're kicked out in a sandbox world, of course, but the game sets you up like, hey, you got a wife and a kid, and you're trying to make right the wrongs in the world, and the further along you play, you're like, man, this dude was effed up in his past life. You're like, and if you're trying to atone for it, by the time you get to the end, it was just like, it was phenomenal.
Yes. Oh, no, it was, because, come on, how many times did you try to restart that very last part and use your red eye, or what was it? The
Deadeye.
Deadeye,
yeah.
And take out as many people as you could. You tried to keep him alive.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. I played through it once. I played through it and was like, Nope, you can't because as soon as it did, as soon as it was like draw and he went to bullet time, I was like, I mean, by that point I was so good, I was like headshot, go, and he went bang bang, but you couldn't get everybody that was there, and I was like, I'm not. There's no. That is not how this is supposed to end. Like I'm not going to be able to pull that off using Deadeye.
Yeah.
This is the end of the story here. And then they put out
story.
Yeah, and then they put out like the best expansion ever.
Okay, so there were a lot of good things about it, but when I first started, it was very frustrating because if I go and secure a place, I mean, that's got to be how a lot of the soldiers felt in Iraq. They'd go in, they'd clear a building, they'd clear an entire city, but they wouldn't hold it. They'd move on, and then they'd just creep back in.
You're like, I know the minute I leave this town.
They'd creep back in, and you'd lose it all. All that work you just went through. I mean, people got injured, some people killed. Yeah, that same thing happened there. It's like you just kept fighting the horde, and I don't know, it got a little frustrating to me because I'd go and I'd clear out Blackwater, I'd go out and clear out this area, and then I'd go and I'd move on, and it's like, oh, this place is under attack, and it's like, I'm one dude, how am I gonna, yeah, it got a little frustrating. But,
yeah,
I mean, they're zombies, they come back.
Yep, I spent a lot of time collecting all those horses, too. Went and got all the horses.
I have them all, yeah.
And then I got them all, and then it's like, the only horse you need is the one that lights them on fire. That's all you need. Because the other horses, you'd run them down, and then you'd still have to go kill them again with a headshot or light them on fire. So only one of the horses outright would kill every zombie you hit, and it was the one that lit them on fire.
No, wasn't it Death?
I don't remember. Was it Death's horse that lit them on fire?
It wasn't Pestilence. I think it was Death.
One of them. I was like, I got to get that horse. So I got that.
Cool looking horse too.
And after that, I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't need another horse.
Yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. And I loved hunting in that game, dude. I could hunt in that game.
Yeah.
Jeez. Like, I just booted up to go hunting. I think I broke the bank because, back in the 1800s, you weren't supposed to have that kind of cash. I sure enough crap did. I didn't kill all the buffalo, though, either. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Yeah.
I think there's a trophy.
I don't think I did.
I think there's a trophy where you have you killed all the buffaloes on the plane or something like that. I don't think I ever got that trophy, and that was completely on purpose. Couldn't bring myself to kill such a majestic animal.
I don't think I killed hardly any. I think I might have killed one or two, like, hey, can I do this? And then after that, I was like, these guys have been hunted enough. And I just never really worried about the buffalo.
Well, see, what bothered me was, so as you went across a certain part of the map, which was like the open plains area, there was a really big herd of them running along, like when you startled them and stuff. And then I noticed the more I went after their pelts, which fetched really good prices, I noticed that the herd started to thin. And I was like, well, what the heck? It's not repopulating at all. There's no baby buffalo or nothing happening here. And when it got down to like 4, I was all, oh crap. I like intentionally kept looking, and I'm like, wow, they made this legit. Like you're committing
buffalo genocide.
Buffalo genocide. Yeah. I was like, okay, so.
Which is funny because you got all this video game stuff that's ridiculous, and the Rockstar's like, hey, you know what? Let's make the buffalo population realistic.
As realistic as possible. Yeah. I did. I killed those last 3, and there was one left, and I was like, okay, you live.
Oh, that's
You're just gonna die all by yourself. Better go up in the mountains and find a girl buffalo.
What's the cruelest thing I could do? Leave one alive.
Yeah,
me. There's a trophy for it. What was the trophy? It popped up and it was like a little American flag. So this is how we do it. You kill them all. You gotta murder them all.
I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I do remember there was a trophy.
Oh, okay.
I will try to do the research really quick and let you know. But yeah, it's funny. I can't think of other movies. I can't think of any books I'm looking forward to.
No. See, I'm still reading the digital comics.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, Image is putting out a bunch of stuff, and some of the stuff now, like, my interest has waned in a bunch of them, and like some of the newer titles that are coming out, I'm not too interested in. So I just don't read them.
Yeah.
But like some of the other imprints off Image are publishing some interesting stuff. For like writers, Matt Hawkins usually does real interesting stuff, and the dude's, I met him at a con. He's ridiculously smart. Like, he's got PhDs and stuff, and knows all about physics and all that jazz. So, his writing can be, in terms of the science fiction stuff, like he writes Think Tank and Symmetry, and a lot of his writing can be really thorough and, realistic from like a science standpoint because he knows all about it. But there's stuff like out now that's only been out like 3-4 issues.
Oh, really?
That I've read digitally, and I just haven't been able to make it to a shop. And I was like, man, I really want these in print. And so while we were here, I hit a local shop and just lucked out that like they had practically everything I wanted. I was like,
I don't know how you found that place.
This
Man.
is
I tried looking.
This is amazing. I loved it. And so I went over there the other day, and dude inside knew like where everything was in the whole store, every issue.
Like Hawaii.
Yeah, it was just like, no, that's right over here.
Yeah.
Somebody moved it the other day. I found it. I just haven't moved it back yet. Sort of like, what?
So it's right.
So he just went back and was breaking everything out. They had all the issues that I wanted. Even the first ones. So like, Maestros was really neat. I like that one. God Complex was interesting. Dissonance was interesting. I picked up all that shit, and was really happy with it. A lot of the artists on that stuff were really good too.
Yeah. I'm what was it? Oh, I always keep my ear to the ground on stuff, and of course you typically see more popular stuff beforehand. I saw Jean Grey's coming back to life, and they're bringing back Logan too. Like they killed off Wolverine 3 years ago?
Yeah, now they got the hunt for Logan or whatever's going on.
Something like that. Yeah, he's apparently alive, and you get to read his backstory of what he's been up to.
Yeah, it's Charles Soule, I believe, is writing that one. And Brian Michael Bendis, the guy who wrote, he pretty much wrote Marvel for a number of years.
Didn't he?
No.
No.
He was kind of big in that area though. Like he did a lot of the Ultimate stuff, but he didn't do all of it. And he wrote like 50 Marvel titles every month. But now he's gone. He just signed an exclusive contract with DC.
Did he really?
Yeah, she's gonna move over there.
That should be cool.
And right now, Marvel's kind of not too great, at least in things that I'm interested in. They still got some really good writers and real good characters. Jason Aaron writes stuff for Marvel, Thor, and all that. And all that. I like Jason Aaron as a writer. I follow writers a little bit, but mostly artists. Because a lot of the guys who are the artists anymore will like write their own stuff.
Yeah.
So like Maestros, which I really like, it's pretty interesting. Which is actually about the most powerful magician / sorcerer / wizard type, like a magic user. It's sort of like Doctor Strange, like the Sorcerer Supreme, but like on a universal scale. And everybody worships him as such. Like he holds the seat of power. There's a spell book that can recreate reality. So he's like basically, but this dude is a total douchebag and, has, a harem, all these women and stuff. And he meets an Earth lady, falls in love with, and she gets pregnant and is like, no, this is too much. I'm taking my kid and going back to Earth. And he's like, oh, okay. So he lets her go back to Earth. Well, then once the kid reaches a certain age, he's like, pops up and he's like, yeah, this is like my kid. Like, he's half my kid. And because he's my kid, he has my blood in him, which makes him, a maestro, and which means he wields magic like at an incredible level.
Right.
But since he's not, him, like he's just, like a lower tiered guy, like they have to inherit the mantle.
Yeah.
And so
that
like
sounds like the character arc of like every Greek god and stuff, the demigods and whatnot.
Yeah, kind of like that. but it's super crazy. I mean, and like this dude's from our time, so when he shows up and he winds up, I won't spoil it how, but like he winds up inheriting this mantle. He's like, well, he's like a metrosexual, modern guy, type deal. So he's like, well, all these people show up and like, oh, worship. He's like, I've done all that bowing shit. I'm really sorry, my dad's a douchebag to all you all. You all get to go be happy and do whatever the hell you want. And, so he's like trying
Changes
to,
the status quo.
He just flips the fucking status quo. And so all the people who are on top now are like super pissed and trying to assassinate him. And, it's funny. It's very much how, probably somebody from, I don't know, maybe even just our generation would kind of behave, that way. Like I would hope, like morality wise and everything else, like he's trying to do good and trying to do right, but at the same time, when one of the bad guys, like, sir, one of these guys is totally overthrown your, one of your armies on this planet, whenever they went in and try and enforce your rule, and he's like, what? And pulls up this, pulls up like a globe, and it's like all cloudy, and you can see in the middle, this bad guy, and he's like, I've defeated you all suck. And he's like, hey, check this out, for the other people in the room, like, puts his finger into the globe, and, like, this giant fucking finger comes out of the sky, the dude, he's like, what? And he's like, digital doom, bitch, and just obliterates, like, 10 square miles with a spark from his finger, but on that scale, it just flash drives this whole area, but he's cracking wise all the time. It's really interesting, but the guy who writes it is also the artist, so he's got a colorist and letter and editor and other stuff, but the writer is the artist, and it's really I think it's really neat to see a lot of the artists get into writing, their own books.
Oh yeah. I mean, to have that level of control, they think it, they make it happen. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they know. Go back, do rewrites right there.
That's funny because that actually makes me think about Rick and Morty. I was just trying to talk somebody today into how freaking phenomenally written Rick and Morty is.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is me like a year ago not understanding why everybody was flipping out about Pickle Rick.
Yeah,
and now Rick. I can't imagine a world in which we don't live with a mad scientist that turned himself into a pickle just so he could avoid going to
talk therapy.
Yeah, going to talk to a psychoanalyzing chick with his daughter. But I mean, that episode was just a John Wick meets Die Hard amalgamation of awesomeness.
Yeah.
And it was a pickle.
Yeah. Well, just everything about him, though. He's the pickle there on the table, and they're like, so that weird syringe suspended above you labeled pickle antidote is not related to your current situation at all. Nope, it's not. Nope. Like, so we can take this down. He's like, yeah, sure.
Not willing to admit.
Yeah, will not admit.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and see, that's what I was trying to sell him today. I'm just like, dude, you have no idea. You might think this looks like the most stupidest thing on the planet, but I'm telling you, it is very dark, very smart. You will laugh your butt off. So, I don't know. Somebody put quote marks around that and stick it on a bumper sticker.
Yeah, and that was one of those, like, my oldest kid was like, hey, you should watch Rick and Morty. It's pretty great. And I was like, I don't know, like, kids these days, in my head, I'm like an old man. I'm like, kids these days watch garbage. It's not as good as whatever I watched in the past. Snork? Yeah, the Snork, Fraggle Rock, Go Speed Buggy. Speed Buggy?
Oh, I love Speed Buggy.
Yep. the all that stuff. Well, he was like, oh, you should watch this. I was like, nah, I don't know. And so it took me months of him harassing me about this show to watch it. And within about 2 episodes, I was like, this is the best show I think I've seen since Futurama. Like, for me, in terms of animated shows, I have not encountered anything that I've enjoyed as much since Futurama. Futurama, for me, still is probably my number one animated favorite show ever. But, like, Rick and Morty are so close. Like, they're so close to being a tie. Like, not quite there. But, it's so close. But just because Rick is so jaded against, like, just humanity and life and everything in general.
And see, it's funny. I feel like we have to pay homage to or give credit to Matt Groening for bringing about the what's the term I'm looking for? Irreverent animated stuff. The Simpsons broke the barrier of cartoons don't have to be cute. They can have a father choking out his son when he does something stupid. And then, I mean, from there, you had people that obviously watched it, took it to heart, because otherwise, without The Simpsons, we wouldn't have Family Guy. We wouldn't have Futurama. We wouldn't have, Matt Groening is Futurama. We wouldn't have, a lot of these irreverent cartoons, which, I don't know, I don't think of them as cartoons. They're just entertainment.
Yeah.
Ultimately. And Rick and Morty, though, I mean, the gravity that they handle in some of the episodes, you sit there after sitting there for, 24 minutes or whatever, it just leaves you kind of like, it leaves you thinking because of the dark nature of the show. You're just like, whoa, they just peeled back a curtain that I've thought about, but not to this extent,
Yeah.
And, I love it. I love it for that. Like the Purge episode. You remember that one? That was
Which
like
one? Like, I don't remember.
They go to a planet.
Yeah.
And it's like cat people. And to this point, Morty as a character has just kind of been the introvert, like, oh, I'm not sure if we want to do this stuff, like just whatever. And in that one, like all this suppressed rage that he's had, because that's the one where Rick lands and he's talking to a local, and he's like, oh, you guys have achieved peace because once a year you have this thing where everybody gets to kill each other without having to worry about anything. And the guy's like, yep, you've been here before? And he's like, no, but I love it. And he's like, oh, we got to stay here for the purging. And, of course, Morty's against it, but then by the end of it, that was just like, to borrow from the concept of the purge, to allow this character to, I don't want to use the word blossom, but break through a barrier of having so much pent-up rage was just freaking awesome. And very dark. Like, extremely dark.
Yeah, there's another friend of mine that I was like, hey, you should watch this show. And he was like, oh, I kind of meant to, at some point. And so I was like, here. So I gave him, all the episodes, and was like, hey, check this out. And so we sat and watched like the first 2 episodes, and he was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And so I was like, okay, well, next time I come over, we'll keep driving. And he was like, oh, okay. And I wasn't able to make it over the next week, so it was like 2 weeks or something. And I showed back up. I was like, hey, have you been watching? He's like, I watched it all. He's like, oh. I was like, oh, okay, you're current then. You watched all the new stuff. He's like, yep, I'm waiting on season 4. And I was like, oh, yeah.
I want to know what happened to Mr. Poopy.
Yeah, it was like, what did you think of it? He's like, oh, it's phenomenal. It's just how dark, like the dark stuff, like Rick, like unsuccessfully sort of attempting suicide, like where he goes to put his head in the laser, but he microwaves some sort of weird mutated baby thing. It's like,
no, he does that to test the laser, and then he just.
I thought he took it out and was like, oh, like, because the way he was walking, he was like, hey, here's this thing like that's all horrible and frozen. It seemed to me like something that he had made as a horrible mistake and had frozen to maybe try and fix later because he thaws it out and it looks all sad and is like, agonizing, and he sets it in there and microwaves it and then decides to put his head in, but then blacks out.
Yeah, that's what it was. He blacks out, and then the power source he put in actually pops, which means it fired off.
Yeah,
and his head just wasn't in the way.
Yep.
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the Unity episode?
That might have been.
Because, like, he had a really good thing, loving on this, God, that made me think of the Borg from Star Trek, where they just assimilate everything.
Well, yeah, the Patton Oswalt, Patton Oswalt voiced the guy who looks like the Borg.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But no, jeez.
Yeah, just all that stuff. But he pointed out, and it hadn't occurred to me, like that hadn't occurred to me, but he said, well, what I really liked about, one of the other things I really liked was how Morty is such a constant screw up and an idiot that even whenever he tries to talk about some great thing about himself, like he tries to pump up himself in some way, he does it like in the worst possible way. Where he's constantly botching things and doing dumb stuff, but whenever he wants to show off, like he's been going on all these adventures with Rick, and they go out on one with Summer, and they break this world, like where there's all the people are the same or something. But like it was like, oh no, you should. She's like, no, you should all be individuals. And they're like, hey, those people got three of and so they all start murdering each other. And she's like, what do we do? And Morty's like, oh, Summer's first race war, huh? And then they take off. And you're like, that's not something you want to be proud of.
No,
like that's what he has. Like, oh, not that he's smart or figured out anything. It's just he's had other race wars.
Yeah. Now, oh man, see, that was something really dark. I think everything went down in season 1, and then in season 2, like he takes Summer over to the window, and he's like, you don't realize you're not actually my sister because that universe became so screwed up. My corpse that was in this universe that's actually your brother is buried only 30 feet over there.
Every night I go to sleep 30 feet from my own corpse.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh, how do you come up with that stuff? I mean, he must have just the biggest blunt of kush sitting next to him when he's writing.
God. Horrible, dark things, too.
But so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's like H.P. Lovecraft writes comedy. It's just the darkest abyss and insanity and, just nihilism. And, but rather than, people going insane.
Oof. Yeah. I think I'm going to switch gears now. You ever watch Saturday Night Live?
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not since Chevy Chase and all them broke up.
Oh, I was going to say, don't say since Chris Farley passed away.
No.
That was kind of a turning point for me, too.
Yeah, it was. I watched it for a while up until Chris Farley left, and then I kind of drifted away from it. And that was probably the beginning of the For Good. Like, I had watched all the old stuff, like,
Oh, yeah.
Gilda Radner and Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, all those guys, the Animal House era, John Belushi, Jesus H. Like, John Belushi. Yeah. if somebody's like, hey, what do you remember? Like, what's your favorite thing out of Saturday Night Live ever? Like, there's a couple of really, really good Will Ferrell skits, but I still don't think anything still cracks me up as much as John Belushi doing the fake commercial where he was sitting there and he had a cigarette in his hand and he was like, I'm a decathlon, and every morning I eat little chocolate donuts. And he had the little chocolate donut in his hand with a cigarette. Ah, man.
Yeah.
Every morning I eat little chocolate donuts.
Well, no, I mean, okay, so let's call it, would it be bad to call it modern day? I don't know. How about last decade? Some of the better stuff has come from, like, the Lonely Island crew.
Oh,
their little SNL shorts and stuff. Andy Samberg
just kills me. Yeah, he cracks me up.
The reason I'm shifting gears and bringing this up, you didn't watch last night, obviously.
No.
Last night, Natalie Portman was the host.
Uh-huh.
it's been like 12 years since she did her little SNL sketch with Lonely Island. Natalie Portman rap. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching it. They actually had some very well written sketches last night that had to do with the Super Bowl and whatnot. But like all that's just going along, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is whatever. And all of a sudden, boom! It's like a time warp. Sitting there, and she's being interviewed, and I was like, oh my gosh, no way. And I was actually texting my wife, and she's like, is this the rap? And I was like, no. That's not the guy that originally interviewed her. I'm like, they're not this is the new rap. This is going to be a new rap. And then she starts going off. And they did. They posted it. You can find it on YouTube. I was like, oh my gosh. It was awesome. Like, in the moment, that little time warp bit was, that was great.
Yeah, I'll have to go back, I guess, and check that out.
Oh, well, now today, like everybody's all, Natalie Portman in SNL rap defends prequels of Star Wars. Because there was actually an entire portion where she dresses up as Queen Amidala and she's like, got a gun on the dude, like, say something bad about the prequels. I don't know, you gotta watch it. It was really good. Yeah. Andy Samberg even pops up in it. He pops up in it in the same outfit. Did you see the original rap?
I saw it, but like a decade ago.
Okay, yeah. Well, in the original one, he's decked out in like as a Viking, this Viking outfit. They pulled that out of the mothballs, or he probably took it home and kept it. He's wearing the same outfit again, but he's standing there with this kid, and he's like, "This is your son you haven't seen in 12 years." And she's like, "No, it's not." It's really good. It's so good. You'll have to look that up.
Yeah. I'll go check it out here in a minute.
I don't know why. I just talking about dark stuff. There's a whole portion in there where, oh, well, you're a mother now. And she's like, yeah, being a mom's really changed my perspective. So there's a whole portion in there where she raps about being a mom.
Yeah, there's like Andy Samberg. He drifted over and did Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Right.
Which I don't know if you watched.
I haven't. Were you the one that was telling me that that's
like it's funny,
brilliant?
Yeah, I really like that show. Like,
it's got a killer cast.
It took me forever to get into it. Like it was out for like 4 seasons or something before I finally was like, okay, I guess I'll watch it. No, I watched. I think I watched like the first 8 or 9 episodes like straight almost. Like I was like, well, I need to, sitting there like, it's just you and me, Netflix, and so I fired it up and started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and was like, holy shit, this is funny. It was like, man, and it's been like Terry Crews. I mean, pretty much any time Terry Crews starts talking,
Terry Crews is freaking funny. He became kind of like the, I don't know, what's his name? He's playing the son of Dundee, and Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. Yeah.
He became kind of the Danny McBride character for me, where he just plays a big character, but totally steals the show whenever he walks on the screen. That's Danny McBride for me in most of the movie he's been in. Terry Crews, he shows up in a random Sandberg movie, and he totally steals it every time. I love it when he pops up. So, yeah, if he's a prominent character in that series, oh, heck yeah, it's got to be good.
Did you watch Eastbound and Down?
Yes.
Eastbound and Down?
Yes.
I don't remember if it was I think it was in the outtakes, maybe? I don't remember if it was in the outtakes or not. I want to say the outtakes are like it was in, like, if they did outtakes during the credits or something, because Will Ferrell showed up in that show.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I was about...
He took a baseball in the eye or something.
Yeah, I was about crying because there's one, like, his character comes on, and every time he's around, like, he pops Danny McBride, sack taps him, like, and it was just like, it seems like the way that everybody reacts, like, it seems like something that they just did, like Will Ferrell was just like, hey, bang, and hit him in the junk during one of the takes, and everybody thought it was real funny, so they left it in, so, like, he keeps doing it, But then later on in the season or something, man, it was like one of the outtakes where they're standing there talking or doing something, and Danny McBride just kind of real quick goes whap and hits him with the junk, and he's like, hey, dick slapping's my thing. And so Will Ferrell started chastising him, saying, dick slapping's my thing.
Oh man.
So Danny McBride and Will Ferrell, and even what's his name, John C. Reilly or something.
Yeah.
Like Will Ferrell and Danny McBride and Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, like in Step Brothers.
Wait, Danny McBride was in Step Brothers?
No.
Oh.
No, John C. Reilly was.
Wait a minute, I don't remember that movie being
like
that
epic.
epic.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
See, it was still like, Step Brothers is like one of those movies, where critics just probably lit it on fire, but I about couldn't stop laughing though.
Dude, yeah, so far we've named, all we need to do is throw a female in there, and I think we have some of the best impromptu comics. Well, no, you know what? You should throw another dude in there too. I would put, who's that short dude that was just in Jumanji?
Short dude?
Yeah, the short guy.
Who, Jack Black?
No. Jack Black.
I mean, next to The Rock, Jack Black is short, so that's why I was like, I don't know what you mean by the short dude.
Why can't I think of his name?
I don't know. I don't know who's in the Jumanji other than The Rock and Jack Black, right?
Great. Now I gotta look this stuff up. That's the worst.
I kind of wanted to watch Jumanji too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If you put Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, Danny McBride, Kristen Wiig, and for the love of all,
Kristen Wiig, definitely.
Yes. Why can't I think of his freaking name? If you just put them all in a movie and had them be like step children, siblings, that would be
like they could just film it Big Brother style. Like, we're just gonna mount cameras all over the house, and you all run around and just act like siblings in this room for about 3 days, and we're gonna edit together a movie out of it.
Oh my gosh, Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart, the short.
Kevin Hart. Well,
yeah,
he's short.
He's short.
Yeah, and then make him the step brother.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that would be. I mean, it'd be comedic gold. Just let him go.
Yeah, probably so.
I mean, give him a loose script to work with, kind of like Anchorman-ish.
a loose script, like, okay, we're gonna come back in 3 days. The cameras are gonna work 24 hours a day, and at the end, the only stipulation is all the characters have to be alive. Bye.
Yes.
And just let them go for.
But see, you'd probably come back and edit that stuff, and not all of them would have limbs. Because they'd be like, well, you didn't say they had to be intact.
Yeah, and that's totally fine.
Crap. Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, I love the improvisation of all of those actors. I mean, Kevin Hart's pretty dang brilliant when it comes to coming up with stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of admirable, traits that people are like, I wish I was, that smart or that strong or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like, man, I wish I could just come up with shit that quick. Like Will Ferrell, lightning.
The amount of wit.
Yeah,
that's Danny McBride for me.
Yeah, Danny McBride and Will Ferrell.
Hey, I love.
I mean, you remember the scene where it was like John C. Reilly, and whenever John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell were in Step Brothers, and they were sleepwalking in the kitchen, they were like, nah, 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 nah. And he was like shaking the bag of coffee grounds. Like they basically were like sleepwalking. I remember that because I was watching something, and the director was like, yeah, we told them sleepwalk into the kitchen and just do stuff, and we're gonna film it. So like that entire scene of them doing all that stuff was all just improv.
Right.
Them walking around in the kitchen, banging pots and smashing eggs on the wall.
Right. Well, see, and that's like, I mean, you've seen how what's his name, Judd Apatow? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Judd. Yeah.
Yeah. You've seen how he directs. Like he will hide in the scene and feed people lines. Like whatever off the cuff thing he has, he like whispers it to him. And he says, this is, so the dialogue is very loose and made up like that. So these guys, no, they just feed off of each other, bounce stuff off of each other. And Danny McBride, I swear, goes off the script as much, if not, as much as Will Ferrell does, as much as Kristen Wiig does, because I mean, in the moment they just come up with pure gold. And
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, did you watch that terrible This Is the End? I think that's what it was called.
Well, was that terrible? That was great.
Sure.
That movie was funny, man.
It was great after
Aziz
Danny showed up.
Ansari, help me up. No, it's too late. You're already in the hole.
No.
I mean, I was about crying in the trailer. I like that. Aziz Ansari's. You're already in the hole, man. And runs up. Look, no, I'm right here.
But no, see, I love Danny McBride in that one because they're busy trying to break through the floor to get to water or food or something like that.
Yeah.
And he says something hurtful, so Danny takes off, and he's only like across the room. And he's like, oh, come back and help me dig this hole. And he's like, no, I've gone too far.
Yeah.
He just keeps walking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. That's like, that just brings a smile to my face every time. And the other thing that is my go-to for making me happy right now is that carpool karaoke with Maisie Williams and what's her name playing Dark Phoenix in the new X-Men movie.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, she plays Sansa.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
I'm a terrible fanboy.
Sansa Stark. I mean, you can just say Sansa Stark is Dark Phoenix.
I remember Maisie Williams' name. I is Stark, but I can't remember Sansa Stark's name. I'm bad. But so carpool karaoke, and they do their. You've heard.
I'm just stuck on the mental image of
they do their best
of like Jean Grey, like the Phoenix standing there in a leather suit with like a big wolf pelt hanging off of her shoulders.
What? What are you talking about?
Sansa Stark.
Oh, yes. Yeah, if you mix the two properties together. No, yeah, that'd be great. But no, I can be in the worst pissed off mood, and somebody plays that, and yeah, it'll make me laugh and smile every freaking time, like without fail. And that's what Danny McBride does to me.
Yeah.
For me. I love it.
No, man, you gotta rev this up, man. I gotta go back and go sleep. It's 6 p.m.
Sophie Turner.
Okay, Sophie Turner.
That's her name. Sophie Turner.
Yeah, okay.
I apologize.
I've got olditis.
Olditis? Wait,
Yeah.
it's 6 o'clock?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, the game has started, boo.
Oh, the game started? When's kickoff?
5:30ish.
Oh, okay.
Don't nobody care.
No. Go watch the stupid ball.
Oh no, I'm gonna play some video games. I'm just gonna let it go. Like all the historic moments that are taking place right now are happening without me. I'm gonna watch all the commercials on YouTube.
Yeah, that's to say I don't care. The biggest thing I'd be excited for is the halftime show and like maybe some of the commercials.
Oh, okay. Why is that Justin Timberlake?
And I don't know, is JT coming back again?
Apparently he's doing the halftime show because they had a big to-do about Nipplegate again. Which, come on, that was forever ago.
Why? Is he going to tear a portion of his shirt off this one and have his nipple covered?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe they're going to do this. Are they going to do the same act, but this time not have
I don't think
boobies flying around?
No, I don't think Janet's been invited.
No.
Did you not see that halftime show?
Yeah, I saw it at halftime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No,
I just thought maybe.
I think it's just him this time.
No.
Last year it was Pink? No. Lady Gaga, I think.
No, it wasn't Lady Gaga.
Yeah. I think.
No.
It was somebody that started out their show at the top of the freaking bowl wherever they were playing.
Yeah. I don't know. Shawn Michaels?
Sure.
He had the big
Top
match
rope.
with The Undertaker where he came down out of the top of the stadium on the zip line. Yeah.
Could have been. I don't know. Let's see. What do we have left that we need to talk about?
I don't know, man. Nothing.
We didn't do an introduction.
I'm old.
Are we
No,
gonna?
not really.
Should we just record like a pre-canned introduction? That way it can just roll into us.
I guess. I don't know. I suppose so.
I mean, that would work.
Yeah, you think you could get that guy that does the bat sum to record one for us?
No. I'm sure I could do a better one.
Yeah.
We could do a better one. Are you kidding me? I think we should do one based off of 1966 Adam West Batman. Let's do it like that. We'll do it like that dude's voice that's like same bat time, same bat channel. You know how he used to always set it up for you? Well, it's like to be continued, but it comes back. And
now I gotta do research on old crap.
What?
What you saying?
Oh, you know what? Maybe we could splice it together and have the dude actually do it for us. Last time we left our 2 heroes.
Would we get sued for that? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Why? Man, I don't know. No.
I don't know. Anytime lately I've done anything where I've put junk online and just said the hell with it and put some popular song on there, even not a popular one, eventually, somehow, the IP owner finds out. And I've always been like, you know what, I'm just going to not allow money to be made on this clip. I'm going to use this song because this song is perfect for this clip. It's only like 15 seconds.
Did you at least credit it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put a credit in the in the description. Yeah. And so they found it after like 6 months. Eventually they found it. And I got an email that said this is no. I got an email from YouTube that said some creator has claimed IP infringement, but has allowed you to keep this video posted, but has turned on monetization on it that goes to them. So like the clip can now generate ad revenue, but it goes to the people who own the song.
Really?
Not the fact that I made the video and the content in the video. There's just 10 seconds or 15 seconds of a song, which means I can now make no money on it, and they get to make all the money off of it. So I was like, all right, I don't give a shit.
I'm cool with that. It's
like,
your property.
It was like, whatever.
Thanks for letting me borrow it.
Yeah.
Not being a douche.
Yeah. I was like, cool, man. That works for me.
There's a bylaw that says that they have to notify you about that.
Yeah, I'm sure they have to notify you because I have the right to counter it.
Oh, screw that.
But but also YouTube just looks at it and goes, okay, fine. I mean, there wasn't like, hey, somebody claimed copyright infringement. Mm-hmm. Do you want to allow this or do you want to challenge it? Mm-hmm. They just flipped it on by default and were like, screw you. We don't care what you say.
Interesting.
Person who posted the video. We're just going to default the money going to this other direction because they're a big company.
Why not?
I didn't appreciate the fact that, because, I mean, what am I going to say? As the guy who posted the video but used this other popular song. Well, okay, go on ahead and give them the money. I mean, what do I care? Sure. But it's just the fact that they default to the large record labels and companies and then figure, well, it's up to the individual little guy to argue for his content. It seems a little dicked out, but whatever. I didn't care either way. No. I wasn't going to take the video down.
But that is interesting. Yeah. I didn't know about that. We've only posted so much stuff with, I don't know. If anybody's ever listening, you can go through and figure out what we've posted and what we haven't posted.
Yeah, I don't know what we've posted. It's all on YouTube, I think, which is funny because I've never done any video for it. It's like the wrongest way to do podcasting type deal stuff, but I'm also like, well, it's something you can just pull up YouTube and then minimize.
Yeah.
And dust around the house. And let it let the soothing sounds.
The soothing voices enter through your brain. Creepy. We may have reached the end of this one.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I could fall asleep right here.
Oh, well, I better let you get back to trying to attack that same monster for the 9th time.
Oh, I don't know how many times I've killed that monster.
0 times I've seen.
No, I've captured him. I've killed him. I've done everything I can to him, I think.
Oh, okay.
He just happened to come along.
I'm going to stop this in an hour and 15 minutes.
I don't even think he was the main dude I was after in that whole quest.
Huh. Oh, okay. All right, well. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
It's been real.
Always.